I saw a TikTok. I know you on the TikToks about
Mate,
you and your current standing on LaMelo. I've been very harsh on him in regards to this is the best team I feel like he's had since he's entered the league in regards to what Charlotte are doing and them trying to make some sort of noise in the playoffs. They've been decent this year, ups and downs, but I'd say it's been more positive than not, especially coming into the year. I had low expectations for them. They blow my expectations out of the water. However, you had some interesting observations in regards to LaMelo Ball and his game.
I just mainly spoke about his lack of 2 point scoring, the lack of getting easy buckets. Because when I watch him against playoff type defense, physical defense, big guards or big perimeter players, he can't get into the paint consistently. When the offense is flowing, he's at this center of that. Do you know what I mean? Everything's clicking. He's kicking out for shooters. He's shooting the ball himself. But I don't want my point guard averaging 10 threes, 10 3 attempts per game. That's too much. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Certain nights he's not shooting free throws. Certain nights he's only having one, two, three free throws. As a point guard, pass first point guard, you have to keep the defense honest with your scoring, with how aggressive you are, not only with shooting the ball but getting to the paint. That's where you just make your job even easier. You just lean into your playmaking, collapsing the defense, kicking out for got one of the best shooters in the world in Conquer. I mean, you've got Brandon Miller as well that can torture from behind the arc. You've got other weapons as well, but as a point guard, I just feel like when he comes up against your Cades, when he comes up against your Tyrese Maxey's, you see the difference. It's a stark difference. If they wanted to get in the paint and get a layup, they could do that like that. Lamelo can't, but he's not strong enough. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like he has enough complex. I'm about to butcher this. Complex, like his game is not
Complexity.
complex enough. I was about to say
Yeah.
complexity or something like that, but I'm sure that's not even English. Like
Mhm.
his game ain't complex enough to
Yeah, yeah,
to
I know what you mean.
find his way between the cracks and get
Well,
in there.
you say that in regards to it's not complex enough. I would, in a different sense, say that it is in regards to he's very unpredictable in regards to you put the ball in his hands and he can do anything, which is the magic and his selling point in regards to
Blessing and
that.
curse.
Yeah. However, do you think I have a couple questions off the back of your, observations in regards to his play style? Do you think he is able to get to a level where he's heliocentric, but it's to the level of, I won't say LeBron's because that's unfair to probably compare him to like an all-time great like that. But maybe his contemporaries, a Luca, a Tyrese, other players that are in that nature of they're pass first in a way, but they can. It runs all around them, and they win games because it runs all around them. Do you think he can ever get to that level with, the way you're seeing him play basketball? Or do you think maybe he's, hit his peak in a way?
I mean, the whole unpredictability of his game is like you're saying, it's a blessing and a curse. Do you know what I mean? And if there's one player that I can confidently compare his game to, for me anyway, is Halliburton. I mean, kind of same size, and Halliburton's learned to attack the rim. He's learned to get points for himself, whether it's in the mid range, whether it's from a three. But he doesn't fall in love with the three, and that's the issue with Lamelo. I mean, like, bro, attempting 10 threes a game is criminal. I mean, that
Unless
just
you're Steph Curry.
tells Steph Curry his craziness. There's a method to his madness, but I don't think there is with Lamelo. I think Lamelo's it just comes off the fly. With Curry, there's a method to it. Do you know what I mean? He makes it look like it's a bit out of control, but he knows exactly what he's doing. So that's a completely different
Yeah.
stratosphere.
Do you mean that in regards to like, for example, if you was to tell like if you had to sit down with Curry, for example, and you had to go for the scouting report for the next team, he'd be like, don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
He
I've
knows what
this
he's
player
doing.
does this, that player does this. They run this kind of offense. I can get my shots here, 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 here. Whereas Lamelo, he seems like I don't know him, but he seems like more of a guy that's like, I'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You'll be all
Like
right.
he does
Don't worry.
Lamelo, and I want to preface by saying Lamelo does a lot of things right. I mean, the kick ahead passes, the controlling the pace, when to go quick, when to slow the pace down.
He's
But I'm
got a
just
good
saying in
feel
terms
for
of
the game.
being intentional with certain things for his own to keep the defense honest, to really unlock that playmaking, which is his strength. But again, I also said it in my video on TikTok that I might be a little bit too harsh on him now because this is the first point in his career, like you said, this is the best team that he's had. I mean, it's the best structure that him and Charles Lee, I think his name is the Hornets coach,
The
that
head
they've
coach, yeah.
had. So LaMelo might have to learn in the offseason when they inevitably get knocked out, whether in the play-in or playoffs. He's gonna have to learn to like, okay, this is it now. Do you know what I mean? This is the point of my career where I'm turning the corner. I have to be not a serious point guard, but like there's gonna be a lot more responsibility and expectation on my shoulders. I have to turn up. Do you know what I mean? I have to in these big games. I can't be outmatched. You know what I mean, there was this game in February. I want to say 2 months ago. Bro, Cade got him in the post and bullied him under the basket and just laid the ball up on top of him. I'm like, that's the difference. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. Like, but LaMelo will try and shoot like a one-legged 30-footer and it'll just graze the rim. Like, bro,
Yeah.
like
After dribbling how many times as well?
they're down three with a minute 30 left. You don't need a three just yet. Try and get a two. Keep it going. But then if you try and shoot a three, fade away, it's like, bro, and then that's the game done. It's like saving possessions, like cherishing. But then you learn all of that as if you end up in the playoffs or in these situations. I don't want to overanalyze this game when this is probably the first time that he's really in this situation.
Well, you said that now, and you've probably answered my next question anyway. If you're a team that's, in the East and you're competing for one of those top playing spots, or playoff spots, I should say, you're probably licking your lips at the chance to play a team like Charlotte when the, lead decision maker, somebody like a LaMelo Ball, who's probably not ready to lead a team to like any real success as of right now.
That is true, 100%. Because in the playoffs, they scheme and they scout for these type of players. Do you know what I mean? They find out what your weakness is and they lean you more to play to that type of basketball. Again, it's like, can LaMelo figure that out and change his game or adjust on the fly? These are questions that obviously still yet to see. But don't get it twisted. The Hornets aren't a team to mess around with. If they catch fire, there's an upset on the cards, and if their threes fall, you are not catching them. They love shooting threes, and they make them at a high clip. It's just certain situations when you slow them down and you bog it down to a half court offense. That's when the inabilities and the deficiency starts to rise and show at the level because they're both their centers, Diabate and the other guy, I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Cole Brennan. They're not offensive guys. They don't shoot. They don't have no floater. They don't have enough. They're road to the
Defense
basket
rebounds.
guys.
Yep.
If you cut that off, now you're playing 4v5. But I'm saying when they've got to go and they're playing defense, they're running the floor, they're getting alley oops from LaMelo and that. They're a completely different team. They're hell to play with. But for the sake of the NBA, I'll finish off by saying, for the sake of the NBA, they're an exciting story, and I hope they make the playoffs because I want to see that. I want to see
it as well. Yeah. You always want to see the best teams, in regards to the play style on display as much as possible. And Charlotte Hornets definitely fall into one of those teams where it's like, what do they call them? League pass teams? Where it's like
they're very excited to watch.
Yeah, it's like, damn, when everybody's healthy and rolling, it's like, yeah, this is good. This is good eats for all of us.
Right.
Is it conducive to winning? Maybe not, but at least you're going to enjoy the ride, So, as we always say, let's see when it comes to the Charlotte Hornets and what what the future has in store for them. Let's see if they can get healthy coming into the playoffs as well, because health is always a concern for that team.